YouTube, what's good? It's your boy, Paulus Harris, aka Crazy Uncle. Hey, guess what? This your first time tuning in. Go ahead. Hit the doggone subscribe button. Hit notification bell every time look, taste the beverage, right? And this whole Corey and Anton and Corey and whoever the fuck Mika is, right? If just like I said, if I didn't know any better, which I do, right? I would say that all of this shit is staged. Somebody, if not both parties, right, are making mad loot behind this. Gotta be, right? Now that that can actually like really be like the foundation of what I'm actually really going to talk about next, right? It's quite obvious that men, grown ass men, especially, put like this, not to say that people don't get butthurt, right? Because I get butthurt from time to time, right? But at the same time, I look at certain things, and then I'm just like, okay, was this actually really something to blow up about, right? And then once I actually really stop and think about it, right? Then I'm just like, okay, well, yeah, that was rather fucked up on my part. So then I'll do my apologies and all that kind of stuff, and then we keep it moving, right? But with this whole goddamn Corey and Anton shit, the shit that happened on the show, right? And then just like I say, and I'm the first one to tell you, I'm not team Anton, I'm not team Corey. I mean, because both of y'all are straight bitches, if you ask me, right? Both of you motherfuckers act like really, put like this, both of y'all went down to the depths of hell, right? And for the most part, y'all actually really showed y'all goddamn true colors, but then, just like I say, go back and actually really watch that particular episode. Corey was already on one, people. And then it's just for the simple fact, right? They talked the day previous. And they couldn't see eye to eye then. And then it's just for the simple fact, what did this motherfucker say? Go back and study this episode, which for the most part, that just goes to show me, right, that this shit was staged. It had to be, right? I mean, because here it is, both of y'all are making money, right? Whether it's at A level list, B level list, C level list, whatever motherfucking category that you actually really want to put these two in. As far as like the industry, as far as like the industry goes, right? So I'm just like, okay, so why would y'all clash? And just like I said, Corey, you butthurt, dog. This motherfucker went on your show. You was already on one. And for whatever reason, I don't know what your problem is with white folks, so-called white folks. All right? But just because you may feel a certain way towards white folks, so-called white folks, right? Don't mean that Anton need to be. He don't need to. He don't need to follow what. He don't need to follow your criteria on how he needs to feel towards white so-called white folks, right? And then just like I said, I don't know. Maybe I'm missing it. Maybe I'm missing it here, right? But I'm just like, okay, you bring somebody on your show, right? And try to disrespect them on your show. And then when a motherfucker fired back, you felt some type of way. You felt like a little bitch, didn't you? Right? Say I suck dick again. Like what the fuck? And then what's so bad about it, right? What did Anton tell you, right? We take this shit to the back. No, we ain't gotta go to the back. So again, so let me get this straight, right? You bring this guy on your show. You disrespect him on your show. And then when he fired back, now you feel a certain way. And then when he said, hey, come on, let's go handle this. You didn't move. Right? Now, regardless of what everybody else said, right? And again, right? Just like I said, I'm not Team Anton, I'm not Team Corey, right? But it's just for the simple fact, when anybody say, hey, let's take it outside, let's go to the back, you already know what the fuck that means. And you set your fat ass down there in that damn chair and you didn't do shit, dog. Now, just like I said, you still butthurt about that. That shit was what? 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago? You started talking about it? Now you bringing his family in. You want to talk about you bringing in the man. You want to talk about the man's daughter now, right? You really dig it now, right? And then for everybody else, right? They sitting up here, they following you, they looking that shit up as if it was motherfucking ice cream, right? Not realizing that the ice cream has been tainted, right? And motherfuckers, y'all steady lapping it up, right? And for the most part, right? I'm almost put like this. It actually I look at all this shit that's going on right now, right? And then I actually really go back to the Avery Spears incident, right? Dog, you have no type of control over your motherfucking show whatsoever, right? It's always got to be about you, which for the most part I ain't got no problem with, right? But it's almost like okay, you the ringleader, right? You catfish lady, and then whoever your boy is, right? Y'all they sit up there and they just shaking their head, yeah, right? Because you paying them. You paying them to motherfucking actually really play a significant role, right? And which for the most part is a bullshit ass role, if you ask me, right? But the thing about it, motherfuck, catfish woman, and old boy, right? But my whole deal is you steady talking about this shit, dog. It's quite obvious that Anton did something that was very unprecedented on your show, and you took it the wrong goddamn way. You feel some type of way, don't you? All right? Well, I got something for you. I couldn't actually like really find an actual like baby doll, right? But we got this little elephant here, which for the most part, if you actually really stop and think about it, you look at this, then you look at Corey, right? And then, hey, I probably did a pretty good idea, right? So here's a towel for you, right? So for the most part, right, because it's quite obvious that your mangina is either wet beyond belief or you got some sand in it, right? So we just gonna go ahead and do you like that, right? Right? Because it's quite obvious you can't wash your own ass, right? So I'm just like, I mean, so what? You gonna finish out the rest of this month talking about this dude, talking about his family, right? And people talking about, oh, well, he a comedian. Dog, you do your comedic shit on stage, right? Don't you bring your ass in here. So the thing about it though is this, right? Be careful on who the fuck you bring on your show, dog. Right? Treat these people with respect. Because the first time that you do that, right, then they will actually like really show you that same respect. Plain and simple, right? Let you tell you from Chicago. Like, okay, like what the fuck that's supposed to mean? Right? I'm from North Little Rock, Arkansas. Right? And again, what the fuck did that supposed to mean? Right? You can still get your ass whooped just because. Put like this. When it's time for an ass whooping, right? Don't nobody give a damn where the fuck you from. Just like ain't nobody gonna give a damn where the fuck Anton is from. Ain't nobody gonna give a fuck where the crazy uncle is from, right? If it's meant for you to catch your ass whooping, guess what? You finna catch this ass whooping, right? You dodged it on that particular day. When Anton said, come on, let's go to the back. What your fat ass do? You set your ass right. You set your ass right down in the damn chair, right? Right? Now, it's either because you either didn't want to kiss that ass whooping, right? Or you ain't trying to lose no money. So which one is it, right? See, this is what everybody else ain't talking about, right? Anybody else talking about this when I'm talking, right? And so again, people, right? What you play this? If I'm watching you, right? I could be like, okay, well, some of the stuff you talking makes sense. Some of that shit with you talking really don't make a whole lot of sense, right? So I can get you on the phone, or you get me on the phone. We talk, right? Ain't nothing aired out. You still feel the same way. I still feel the same way. Why the fuck would I bring you on my show? Right? Knowing what the conversation on the phone was. Right? Me personally, I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that type of nonsense. I really don't. Right? I mean, now, great the fact, okay, let's just say for shits and giggles that, okay, you know what? I'm gonna bring you on the goddamn show anyway, right? And then whatever the fuck happens, happens, right? And I'm gonna try to be as much as professional as possible about the whole deal, right? Put like this. Sometimes you get the bear, sometimes the bear got you. And Corey, guess what? The bear got your ass, right? You don't do that and not expect for that man to fire back. Now you like I say, now you fucking with this man family. It's almost like that one deal that Malcolm X said that one time, right? He said, look, when you attack me, it's one thing. I know what the fuck to do when you start attacking me. But when you start attacking babies, yeah, you express attack. I mean, now, great the fact he cut it off. But I'm just saying this, right? I'm just saying this, right? But when you start attacking family, you start attacking babies, yeah, you the scum of the earth, motherfucker. Right? And then it's just for the fact, depending on the individual, right? That's some shit that'll cause a motherfucker to ride out and fire your fat ass and deflate you for the motherfucker and deflate all that goddamn hot ass air out your body, right? I'm putting this. I'm just putting it out there. I'm just putting it out there. You butthurt, dog. Grown ass man. Damn near 60 years old, and you butthurt. Cause that man said you suck dick after you didn't told, but and then it's just for some fact, right? You said he kissed the white man's ass. So what the fuck do you expect for him to say? Right? Because I just said the exact same shit. Oh, I kiss ass, so guess what? You suck dick, motherfucker. Matter of fact, you take it up the ass. You sword fight. Right? That's why you had that old fucked up ass look on your face. Like, no, this motherfucker didn't. Yes, he did. Right? So don't sit up here and get mad because the motherfucker actually really called you out on your shit. This is the second time. Right? You had that run-in with Avery Spears, and I'm pretty sure Avery Spears tore a huge hole in your goddamn pocketbook, right? And then 9 times out of 10, Anton is probably gonna do the exact same shit to your ass, right? You keep on, Corey. You keep on, right? And then all what the fuck you gonna have is your goddamn comedy specials, right? And and it's just for the simple fact that it's quite obvious you probably butthurt beyond what the fuck Anton even told you, right? Because you're always talking about women, right? Women this, women that, women other, and that for the most part, they may indeed deserve it, right? But the thing about it though is this: I'm looking at you. I'm looking at your fat ass, dog, and dog. You lose weight, dog. That's why you didn't carry your ass to the back. When Anton said, "Let's go to the back," right? You probably would have ran out of breath before you even ran to the back. But but that's neither here nor there, right? But my whole the whole deal there. Whenever that particular episode aired, you still talking about it. Just like say, he say something, you say something. Right? Y'all acting like, see, because basically what y'all doing right now, y'all 2 grown men, right? And see what y'all doing right now, see, that's that damn this junior high first year high school bullshit, what y'all doing right now. You say something, he gonna say something. He gonna say something, then you say something. Now you want to talk about his family, right? All because you felt a certain way. This man said that you suck dick. And it's quite obvious that you do because you still talking about it. You still talking about this dude. Right? So it has to be some truth in there somewhere. You either suck dick or you take it up the ass, if not a combination of both. Which one is it? Right? I mean, don't worry, I'll wait. I got all the motherfucking time in the world, right? But the thing, but here it is, and any man, any true man, unlike these bastards what I've been watching on motherfucking YouTube, right? Any man will actually really go back and watch that shit the first 30 minutes. And then when they sit up there and say, oh, when they would actually really hear you say, oh, you kissed the white man's ass, right? Whether it's true or not, you don't tell another man that, not in his face, and not actually really get some type of recoil behind that shit. Right? Then you're gonna sit up there, and so and it's just for the simple fact, right? What I said it in previous videos, right? He got up and left, and then you most definitely start talking shit. Right? After this motherfucker, he done left your front yard. He done left your front yard, closed the door, or closed the gate, rather. And then you act like the little Chihuahua dog. You showed up barking your motherfucking ass off, right? It would be like this, we ain't even gonna call you a motherfucking Chihuahua dog. Let's call you a motherfucking bullshit ass Rottweiler, right? When for the most part, all what the fuck that you actually really do is you ain't nothing but a motherfucking biscuit biter, right? And you steady talking about it, dog. You steady talking about it, and everybody else is talking about it, right? But we are, I already looked at the motherfucking playing field, right? A lot of motherfuckers are Team Corey, right? And then there's probably a lot of people that are Team Anton, right? But just like I say, I'm not neither one. I'm not neither one. I don't care for none of these motherfuckers, to be perfectly honest with you, right? I'm just looking at this in fact, you disrespected another man, right? And he fired back on your ass. Now your ass is motherfucking butthurt. Just like being the typical bitch that you are, right? You a bitch. Plain and simple, right? Just like say, I go back, look at some of my motherfucking videos, what I did, right? I said what I had to say on a particular show at that particular time. I do a piece, and then I'm done with it, right? No, motherfucker, you steady talking about it. You steady talking about it, right? Which means you feel some type of way. But hey, it is what it is, people, right? Just like I said, all this shit is staged, and then they went out and then they went and got a motherfucking video of his wife, which I'm pretty sure they chopped that shit up beyond belief. But here's the deal, right? 21 years, United States Army. Now if my wife was to actually really come on here and she actually really told y'all what the fuck that. Now, granted, the fact is not every day, right? Yesterday, I had a real serious blow up. I blew up on every goddamn body, right? because I have PTSD. You know, that's what happens when you actually really do real work, okay? Instead of motherfucking telling jokes all goddamn day. And then a lot of your shit, what you talk about, really ain't that goddamn funny, right? But again, that's neither here nor there, right? I got real serious issues. I have mental issues, plain and simple. If a gun was in this house right now, would nobody be in this bitch, plain and simple. Especially if I get pissed off, right? That's why I don't have no gun. You know, that's why I don't have no gun right today. Hurry up, get out of my bathroom. It don't take all that. Cut my water off. Cut it off. So in either case, right? Grow up, man. You're a grown ass man. Just like I said, you damn near 60 years old. And you acting, and then you trying to relive your motherfucking either junior high or high school years. Both of y'all, right? Leave that shit alone, right? Y'all done said what the fuck y'all had to say. Squash it. Leave it alone. Let's move on to something else. Plain and simple. Right? But I already know this ain't the end of this. Somebody gonna say something else. Right? And then they gonna keep this shit going. Right? And then whatever the fuck happens after that, it's just been the fuck didn't happen. Right? But hey, it is what it is. So hey, guess what the fuck y'all get to do? Tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell your dad, tell your birthday, your uncle, your auntie, your grandma, your papa, motherfucker next door across the street around the corner, Papa's ass. AKA Crazy Uncle. I'm gonna holler at y'all.